Hey everyone, Bob Downey here. I know we all cannot afford to have 4 graphs on our boat. That's what I got right now. I'm super lucky, fortunate. It makes me really efficient on the water on the Elite Series. But I qualified through the Bassmaster Opens with 2 9-inch Humminbird Helixes. I had one here at the driver's seat and one at the bow. So you definitely don't need the setup that we have to enjoy your time on the water. And I want to show you, if I were to still have those 9-inch graphs, what I'd be doing for my presets and how I'd use them in an efficient way. When I'm at the driver's seat here at the console, I'm primarily using my map from going to one spot to the next when I'm up on plane. So I would have a preset set on my Lake Master mapping, number one. So for my second preset, when I get off plane and I want to idle around and I'm looking for offshore structure, it's going to be my Lake Master mapping and then side imaging here at the bottom. The nice thing with Humminbirds is they usually have a quick preset option, whether you're running the Solixes or the Helixes. And this would be my second preset option. Map on top, side imaging on the bottom. And then when I get up on plane, I can switch back to the full map. The third one I would have, if I have a through hull transducer, I would run at times, let's say I want to buzz through an offshore flat on the Great Lakes that's a couple miles long. I do like to have map and then a sliver of 2D, and so I can show that to you guys here. So this will be my third preset here. You've got your map on one side, and we're out through our water right now, so my 2D is not running, but this would be 2D on the right. And the beauty of that is when you're on the Great Lakes or giant reservoirs down south and you're trying to look for maybe a small patch of grass, a small rise on that flat, is with that through hull transducer, you can cruise at 20 to 30 mile an hour and you can see those slight changes. So that'd be my third preset, is map and then 2D with the through hull transducer. And that's all I'd need. That's all I needed in the opens. Sure, you might have to click a few more buttons to switch between screens, but it's not that big a deal, not too much of a hassle. And you definitely don't need 4 12-inch graphs to enjoy your day on the water. Like I said, I qualified through the opens with a 9-inch Helix here and then a 9-inch on the bow. And we'll step up to the bow quick and I'll show you how I would use my 1 graph up there if I had to. All right, so we got our 1 graph here up front. I had a 9-inch Helix here when I qualified through the opens. I didn't have 360 or forward-facing technology at the time. And so for me, I was primarily using map on one side and 2D on the other almost 100% of the time. Now, things have changed, technology's evolved. Let's say you got a 360 on your boat, you got Mega Live, and you want to be able to utilize those. So I still do this today, actually. When I'm up shallow, and I'm fishing visual targets with my eyes, I'm not really using 360 or forward facing. I still have it in the map and the 2D, okay? Super simple, common setup. If I am fishing offshore a bit, or I want to be using my 360, then I'll switch to my map on one side and 360 on the other, okay? So maybe we're targeting isolated grass beds, boulders, rock piles, maybe a bare spot in the boulders of sand, something like that. You can have a map and 360. Now, if I want to use forward facing and not 360, then I would switch to a sliver of map and forward facing. So you can still do it with 1 graph. Is it easier with 2, with forward facing and 360? Sure it is, but not all of us can have that. And if we don't, we got to deal with just 1 graph up front. That's how I would do it, depending on the depth range I'm in and the stuff I'm fishing. So once again, let's say we're dealing with suspended smallmouth out on Lake Champlain in the summertime. We're probably not using our 360, right? We don't really care what the bottom looks like. That's when I'd have my map and forward facing only. So depending on what I'm doing, whether it's shallow, mid-range, offshore structure, suspended fish, you can adjust that and still get away with just 1 graph on the bow.